What's up, everybody?
Hey guys, so earlier you guys had submitted a couple questions. So on this episode, we're going to start answering all of them.
Yes, may I do the honors?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. First question. How do you know it's time to leave your long-term relationship?
All right. So my response to that was when there's no longer any effort. So that's what I think. So and these fucking mics are all over the place. I think when there's no effort, I think that's when it's time to cut ties. It's funny, I actually recorded that answer yesterday. Yeah. I noticed that we had an extra question. Right. But yeah, at the end of the day, every relationship requires effort, and we've talked about it before. I think that once the effort stops and it starts slowing down, people, they get comfortable. And then they think that, oh, well, that's it, I'm done. And I think that when you reach that point, it's definitely time to go. Now, I also said that, if there's like domestic violence or anything like that, where, those are like obviously the ones that you should leave. And if you do need help, I mean, please go see a therapist. And we also have sponsorships. Please reach out to us and we'll let you know about that. But I think ultimately the bare bones is it comes to effort. At the end of the day, you can fail, you can do well, but as long as you keep trying. If you feel like there's no longer any effort, that is one clear sign to you gotta cut it quits.
Very well said. 100% effort is key, and a relationship cannot last if both parties aren't willing to try and put in that work. What I said originally was how do you know when it's time to leave a long-term relationship is when you think about the relationship and all you can think about the positive things are like in the past, right? So if somebody asks you about the relationship or whatever, and you would give an summation of the relationship, and you have to, when was the last time this person made you smile? You had the good moments. You enjoyed each other's company, and you have to think back, man, when was the last time we were happy? When was the last time we didn't fight constantly? And you have to take yourself months, weeks, or even longer back to think about that area, that experience. When you have that kind of, when you're thinking about that and that comes to mind, you're like, man, this is where I am. This is where I am now. I think that's when it's time.
I think it also kind of ties into my answer. I think we have a very similar answer because I think they go hand in hand.
Of course.
Because if there's no longer any effort, then you start thinking, when was the last time that any effort was done? When was the last time that they made me smile? When was the last time that they did something nice for me? When was the last time that I felt appreciated?
It goes hand in hand.
If you kind of continue the effort, there's no reason to always wonder, well, when was the last time? Because it's always there. Yeah. That always affirmation, the security, that love, the affection, it's always going to be there. That effort of doing that for your partner selflessly. Yeah. I think it's the formula.
100%. Sometimes, especially this person was saying long-term relationship, you get comfortable with this person. Right. And sometimes you don't even realize when was, you have to remind yourself, hey, is this where I want to be in life? Is this person, are we following on the same path?
Are we growing together? Are we growing together, apart?
Which is okay as well. But then you have to remind yourself, this is not the life that I want to live, and I'll have to remove myself from that situation in a kind manner, right? But sometimes we are busy with life, with relationships, with kids, and all that stuff. It's hard to sometimes think about, man, when was the last time this person actually tried? Or when did I feel like trying? Maybe I gave up. Maybe I don't want to do this anymore. But I'm so comfortable in this role as a girlfriend, as a boyfriend, as a husband, as a wife, that I didn't even think about if this is what I want. You know what I'm saying? So effort, I think, is key. And, sometimes you forget about it. Take yourself back. When was the last time you guys had a good time? Not just one night, not just one evening or whatever, but like a genuine, healthy relationship. When was the last time? And sometimes you'll be surprised with the answer to that. So I think that's how you know.
Before we move on, I also think it's important to have proper communication and comprehension. Make sure you interpret, you have the proper interpretation. Sure. Because maybe there is no effort, but if it's not being communicated and it's not being pretty much discussed, maybe they need more than just a sign, or they need more than just, well, they should know because they're my partner. Yeah, so if you feel like things are starting to slow down, maybe have the conversation, even if it's uncomfortable, because you can either have that uncomfortable conversation there to see if there's a solution and see if maybe effort can rekindle, or maybe if it's not, now you know whether you want to continue being with this person who's not willing to put in the effort anymore.
Yeah, you got to
having the conversation will identify that.
You have to speak up because people can't read your mind. Some people are like, hey, this is, I'm sorry, I became complacent too. I didn't realize this. I didn't realize I didn't meet your needs. Thank you for communicating that to me, and I'll do whatever I can to improve.
Which also in long-term relationships, your needs may change. Your interests may change.
Right.
So without having the communication, that interpretation properly, within that dialogue that you have with your partner, how are you always going to be able to be giving the proper effort every single time if the goals are not changing for each person in the relationship? So I think together having that conversation and understanding what are the needs, what is it that you need from me in order to show you that we can continue. And if you feel like even at that there's really nothing, I also said that also, exhaust all your options. So therapy is also a very important one, that people think that therapy is only done when it's, the relationship's at its the lowest point.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to go even when it's at its best.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll learn new things about your partner where you're always adapting, always evolving. Well, this is the opportunity to evolve together and grow together rather than grow apart, and always have that effort to make sure that you're always growing together.
Very well said. I love that.
Next question, my turn.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think this was a question that was answered. It's in 2 parts.
Yeah.
You used to notice too, right?
Yeah,
cool.
I saw that.
Okay. Anonymous. Is it fair to say mean things when angry? Parentheses, for any reason.
Yeah. I saw that and I immediately thought about, okay, what mean things? What are mean things? I think, with somebody, sometimes you say stuff that you don't mean, but there's a hard line between, saying something that, something silly and stuff like that, or saying something that is really, really inappropriate. I have one big rule. I don't curse at my partner. I don't call them names, the B word, the C word. None of that stuff is okay for me. I've never said that. And to any of my relation, and none of my partners, I never said that. So I think that's not acceptable at all. That's a huge red flag. I know right now we're talking about red flags are like trending right now. Red flag if they curse at you, if they scream at you, if they make you feel insignificant, bashing you, gaslighting you in that way. That's not okay at all. It's a red flag. You got to put from the beginning when you meet this person. You got to say, hey, listen, or even it's a common understanding like, hey, listen, I will never disrespect you in that way. Because if they do that, what else are they gonna do? Now you're chipping away at that relationship, at that foundation. So, that cursing, yelling, none of that stuff is okay with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Establish a boundary. Make sure that you have
Boundary.
that understanding up front, so then you know what you're willing to, tolerate and what you're not.
Right.
And then what your partner is now going to either take advantage of, I guess not intentionally, but maybe it can be if you're not fully communicating and understanding what the boundary is. But yes, that's actually really good. For me, no, there should never be a reason. And it's unfortunate that we can't be in control of our own emotions. I mean, we're adults, and for us to, I'd like to think that we're all adults, how we act.
Yeah.
But it's a shame that if you're going to be committed to someone, that you love someone, that you can justify being so upset that you have to insult them. Or what is it that she said? Say mean things when you're angry. As long as you're always communicating and having that proper comprehension, how we always preach, there should never be an issue or a situation where you have to cross the line. Because you can be upset, but can you still portray the same message by not insulting the person?
Yes.
Like, what are you going to try to accomplish? If anything, you may just make it worse by saying mean things that have nothing to do with the problem at hand. So it's like, identify what the real problem is. If we're saying that this is the problem, there's no need to call me an asshole. There's no need to call me a douchebag.
Yeah.
Let's identify whatever it is. Or I'm not going to call you the B word. I'm not going to call you whatever other thing, because that's not going to help solve the problem. And at the end of the day, in relationships, we've said it before, the problem is not you against your relationship or your partner. It is the relationship together, you and your partner, against the problem.
100%.
So as long as that's together, I don't see why there should be. And if there ever is, dude, like, you're an adult. You're in control of your actions. You're in control of what you say. If you're able to tell yourself to stand up and walk, you're able to tell yourself, hey, let me type this in an email. Let me say this to someone. You're well in control of what not to say as well.
I think very well said. Also, it's very important sometimes to remove yourself from that situation. If you're upset to the point, it's okay to say, hey, babe, you know what? I don't see eye to eye with you right now. I'm gonna walk away, and we'll carry on this discussion at a later time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or, before I say something that I might regret, I'd rather not say anything at all. I think we live in a world where everybody's so connected. You can call them, you can email them, you could send them a message, a voice note. And sometimes we're in the heat of the moment when we say stuff that later on, like, what?
Let me do it now.
Exactly.
I'm feeling it now. Let me tell them now.
And
sometimes it makes more sense to say,
take a step back. Let me get a breather. Let me maybe get something to eat, go to sleep, take a nap. I'm tired.
To add to that, it's also important to be empathetic. Having empathy.
Yeah.
Would I want my partner to talk to me this way?
Yeah.
Would I want them to treat me this way? Would I want to be called this? How do I feel if I were to be called what I called my partner?
Would I talk to my mother like that? My sister, my son, my daughter, my grandma? a lot of times, no, you wouldn't, because your parents wouldn't tolerate it. You wouldn't want to be called that way. So why do you think it's okay to call your spouse or your partner or whoever like that? You know,
Exactly. Yeah. Like just treat people how you want to be treated.
Yes.
And we make the mistake of expecting people to treat us how we treat them. Unfortunately, that's like a false expectation because the world doesn't work that way. But I feel like if you selflessly want to do good and you have good intention, you may not be treated the same, but I feel like you can always, hold your head up high knowing that you are true to who you are and you didn't, change for anybody or whatever.
Yeah. Very well said.
You're next.
My turn. All right. I'm waiting for someone so long. It has been 2 years that she doesn't want me again. She has a new boyfriend. She doesn't want me again. She has a new boyfriend. So I guess this person, anonymous, has been waiting on this person.
I'm waiting for someone so long. It has been 2 years that she don't want me again. She has a new boyfriend.
Right. What is that?
Yeah, no, I was
reading everything. Bro, I saw that and I was like, dude, what are you doing?
What the? I said the same.
What are you doing?
What the hell are you doing, bro?
Bro, never wait for anybody.
Bro, no one is worth, like, wait for nobody.
I was speechless. I was like, bro, there's 7 billion people on this planet.
I think I shouted you out even in my recording.
You
when
did?
I did it. I was like, bro, Marvin says it all the time. There's 7 billion people on this planet, but you're choosing to wait for one person who doesn't even want to be with you.
Right.
And has a new boyfriend. What the hell are you doing?
No, man. Like, if somebody doesn't want me, that's the biggest, for me, that's like, okay, like it's a sign. This person doesn't want to be with me. That's fine. They don't have to. I'm not saying I'm the best person ever, but maybe we're not meant to be. If they don't want to be with me, that's fine. But there's 100,000 other people who would be honored to be dating me, right? And vice versa. So, man, like if you've been waiting, I wouldn't even wait a week for anybody who doesn't want to be with me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So Matthew Hussey said it best. And I saw one video where he said, if I'm sure about you and you're not sure about me, then I'm definitely not sure about you anymore because I thought I was sure. But if you're not on the same page as I am and you're not certain about me, this whole time I've been illusioned and I've been playing myself because I thought I was sure about you. But now I'm finding this out that you're not sure about me. Maybe I'm not sure at all. I want to be with someone who's certain that they want to be with me, not someone who isn't sure whether they can see us together.
100%. And the right person for me is the person that chooses to be with me too.
Exactly.
That wants to be with me.
Why do I want to be with someone or chase after someone that doesn't even want to be with me? Like, you know what it is for someone to be like, hey, I don't want you. Leave me alone. And you're like, she wants me to try harder.
Yeah.
Like, bro, no, dude. Like, don't play games.
Yeah.
Also, on that side, if you're going to do in that direction. But at the end of the day, if they're literally telling you that they don't want to be with you, that's and
that's the best thing that you can ask for. Them telling you, hey, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah, instead of getting played and then they're stringing you along thinking that everything is fine.
That's even worse. So I mean, bro, in the simplest way, don't wait for anybody.
This is the holy grail of a breakup, dude. Yeah. Like, just take it and run with it. She doesn't want to be with you. If anything, like, hey, you're in the clear.
That's it, dude.
You're free.
Yeah, because, man, imagine then this person gives you a shot or gives you a chance because you've been waiting for them for 2 years, and then it doesn't work out, or now they playing you, which is what you're saying. And bro, you're wasting all this time waiting 2 years, but life is too short.
Think of all think of all the good people that you probably can stumble upon or stumble across, and you're waiting for someone who doesn't want to be.
You probably did come across them, but you kind of passed on them because of this one person that doesn't want to be with you. But there are people who do want to be with you. Oh, man.
Yeah, bro. Get over it.
Yeah,
get over it. It's going to hurt, but time heals all. Just believe in it.
Bro. Block this person. You remove them from your social media. Don't look at that. Because this person knows that they're in another relationship. How do you know this? You're probably on top of stalking them, going through their feed. Get out of here, dude.
Speaking of blocking people, because I had a conversation the other day where someone's like, I'm not gonna be immature. I'm not gonna block them. Like, I'm better than that. No. If you need to block them for your own mental health, fucking block them. Don't sit there and tell me, no, because it really doesn't matter. I don't want to stoop down to that level. Dude, so either don't BS me, don't BS yourself, trying to believe that you're not blocking them for that reason. You're probably still following them because you still want to see their stuff and creep on their stuff.
Yeah.
But dude, if you need to block them, forget all that, my mental health. Forget all the, no, I don't want to drop down. I'm not immature. Dude, if you need it for your mental health, you need to get over this thing, just do it.
Yeah, man. That do like a social media cleanse and be on with it.
All right.
Go ahead.
Next.
Yep.
All right. I want to remain anonymous. Is it okay for a girl to pick up the guy for the first date? I'm so happy I'm asking you this first.
Yes. So you know me, I'm very like 50-50, empowering women and equality and all that stuff. But I think for the first date, I would want to pick up the girl.
Okay.
Even though, let's say she makes the plans or whatever, you know what? Either you meet this person at the location. A lot of people feel safer that way. And then if the date is uncomfortable, now I got to take this person home. If not, like it's gonna be awkward. I think the first date you should probably just meet up for especially in the times that we live in. You know, like everything that's going on, and as a woman, you know, be safe, right? Be safe. It doesn't matter, especially if you never met this person, right?
And be aware of your surroundings. I saw a video that I'm sorry.
No.
This is it's very relevant to what you're saying.
Yeah.
I saw a video the other day. I forgot where it was. It was in New York. It was another city. The point is, she had left the elevator and she was running to her apartment. She was walking fast to her apartment, but she heard someone chasing her. You saw the camera? I probably sent it to you. And yeah, so she's walking, and then you literally see her as she closes the door.
The guy was
literally with a knife in his hand, like literally grabbing the door at the same time.
Yeah.
So be very aware. And I mean, who knows? You may meet someone online or meet someone in person.
Yeah.
And these are the kind of people that we're experiencing now in these days. Like, people are not afraid to be crazy anymore on that level.
Yeah. It's insane, especially what's going on in the news and even people that you know that could be like that. But if you don't know them, like, why take the risk? I think it's safer just to meet this person in a public setting,
100%.
First date for sure. And, you know, things go great, whatever. You can always see them again. And then down the line, if you're comfortable picking this person up, great. But first date, I think, you know, meet each other somewhere.
Especially when it comes to first dates, because we've had the conversation before. What should be a first date? Should it be a dinner? Should it be something extravagant, something that classifies itself as a date? A date on a first date, especially its simplest form, should be something quick, like a coffee. Should be casual, like a walk, something super casual. Because, I mean, imagine and meet up with them, especially how the times are.
Yeah.
Because let's say you meet them. Let's say you and I go on a date, and I meet you for the first time, and I meet you at a coffee shop, and we're talking. If I feel comfortable for the second date and you want to pick me up, I already have more comfort because I met you the first time in my control with what I want to do.
Yeah.
Now, but based on the actual question, there's nothing wrong if you need to pick up the dude. I mean, it's not the same traditionally. Yeah, the man should open the door, should pick you up, should pay for dinner. I understand all that. And there's something a little bit special and kind of sexy on it as well. You do, like, a woman does want to feel, you know, courted.
Desired, wanted.
Oh, let me go pick you up. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you really like the guy and you really want to meet him, and who knows, maybe you've known him for so long and you're finally going to go on a first date. Yo, like, if you have a means to drive, do it. But I understand you don't want to. It's not the same.
Yeah.
But ultimately, that's discretionary, I guess.
Yeah. I think as a guy, like, you want to invite them. Hey, listen, you want me to pick you up? You know, I can. If you feel more comfortable, you would like to meet there at a public place, you know, of course, you totally understand. Have that dialogue, right? Have that communication. But I think it's okay if the woman picks up the guy. But ultimately, I think meet each other. For the times that we live in, just be safe.
Yeah, meet somewhere quick and then validate if they're worth a second date. Right. And then you're in full control. Do whatever the hell you want. At least you already have some sort of, you know, foundation on this person.
100%.
Right? Well, you gotta ask me.
Yeah. Oh, glad I'm asking you this.
Why
is it okay for women to have standards but men cannot? Anonymous.
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, because I have standards. You have standards.
I have standards.
But maybe it's frowned upon. Is it?
Okay. You know what? So another thing that we always encounter is the stereotypes.
Yes.
Because we'll say something, maybe it's targeted to women, maybe it's targeted to men, and then you have all the exceptions and the outliers on the scale, on the average that say, I'm not like that, or it's not supposed to be. I've never done that before in my life. But you probably know someone who has.
Sure.
And if the stereotype is created, it's because enough people have probably done it to earn that stereotype. You may not fall into it, but just know it exists. And that's what everything that we talk about is that.
Yes,
so when it comes to standards, yeah, bro, I don't know who lied to you. Why can't a guy have standards? Now, what I did say is, so are your standards realistic? Or are they unattainable?
Sure.
Because now, for example, and this guy, he's said some stuff to us before where I was like, yo, like, chill out, dog. Like this guy, for example, so let's think of body count. Like, I don't really care. It's not my business what you've done before me. We also live in Miami. I think I read an article the other day that I think the average body count for a person is like 6 or 7 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But here in Miami, you multiply by 20.
Oh
So,
my God.
yeah. So the thing is, for him, he's like, well, I want a woman with a low body count. I think anybody who has too much, for me,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. So these are things that you have to understand your audience and your market. Because if your standards are, well, no, I want to have a woman who only has one person or who's a virgin, who's never had sex before. Is that attainable? And is that standard realistic where you're living and in the market that you're dating? So if you're going to have these unattainable standards or expectations, dude, it's not that you're not allowed to have it. It's be realistic with what they are. And it also applies to women as well.
Sure.
If you're going to have a certain set of standards, like, well, I want a man who's never had sex with anybody else, Miami may not be the first place you want to look.
Sure.
So it's things like that. I think you can have standards, but make sure they're realistic. And if anybody tells you that your standards are too high or maybe they're unattainable, maybe that's not someone you even want to entertain. You know, entertain those who are going to reach your standards, as long as you're aware and have that self-awareness that they're actually attainable.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Very well said. I remember back, this was years ago at this point, Victoria's Secret fashion show. This was going on years ago, whatever. I think they stopped doing it. On social media, a lot of guys would be like, man, this girl doesn't look good, or this and this. And it's like the guys are like on the couch with the fucking beer and fat, obese, overweight. And it's like, how can you have those standards when you look at yourself? You know, not for anything, but you don't really have six-pack abs either, you know, and so those women look amazing, but you can't, same thing goes back of what you were saying, like have realistic expectation. You can't expect to date a supermodel when you look like a fucking, you know, Bob the Builder over here and like a scrub, you know, so it does, you know, I think you have to be realistic when it comes to that. Ultimately, it's okay for men to have standards, but you got to be able to reciprocate that energy as well. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a key point. Very simple.
Yeah. Everybody has their own standards. And again, there's 7 billion people. Maybe it was on this one that I said it. There's 7 billion people in this one. There's 7 billion people on this earth. You know, it's like maybe not everyone's going to fall or reach the standards that you have.
Yeah.
So only entertain the ones that do fit. But also have the awareness and
be aware of who you are and
where you are, and is it attained? Is it realistic? You know, there's a lot of moving parts there, but
sure.
Yes, you can have standards.
Yes, you can. Bottom line.
Okay. Oh, what would you recommend to those of us rebuilding our self-confidence to date again?
Yes.
Shout out that one.
That was a good one.
I love that one. Yeah.
I think building up self-confidence starts with, especially when we're talking about dating, I would even go as far as saying remove yourself from dating, right? So focus on yourself and what you want to do in life and your own goals and your own desires. And if it's your career, if it's who you are, maybe change certain things in your life, especially if you're insecure or feeling vulnerable and you're in a tough spot in life. I think it's maybe pivot and try something different and don't look at dating as this necessity that you have to do in order to kind of win in life, right? So there's so many other aspects outside of dating that are so much more important. And then everything else would fall in place, you know, like even for me, like, you know, after I got out of my long-term relationship, for me, I didn't even think about dating. I didn't even date for months because I was so focused on self-growth and self-development. And then when it was time to go on my first date, took a while, took months, and I removed all expectation. You know, I just like, oh, this is a nice person. Let's see how things kick off. And it was a great conversation and it was nice. But ultimately, I didn't have any expectation. I didn't have any like, oh, I got to impress this person, none of that stuff. But ultimately, before that even started, it was all about myself and my own focus and my own self-growth. And I didn't even think about dating. I think people are so focused on, oh my God, I got to find a girlfriend, I got to find a boyfriend, that they're obsessing over this concept that isn't really, it shouldn't be pretty priority in life. It'll come when it comes, and it'll be in addition to your life, but it shouldn't be your life. That being said, I'll open up the floor to you if you can.
Pass me the rod.
If you can add to that, or what are you thinking about that?
Yeah. What would you recommend to those of us rebuilding our self-confidence to date again? Stop giving a fuck. Like, who cares? That was my answer. Like, stop giving a fuck. And I'll chime in with this. Let's say you're dating someone, right? You just started dating them and they seem great, but within a month, maybe 2 months, you realize that they're a completely different person. And you find out that they put up this whole facade for you to like them more. And now their true colors
Who
come
they
out.
are.
Do you want to be with someone who now they completely lied to you about who they are? No. So ultimately, you would want to do the same. Be genuine of who you are, because you don't want to try to chase after someone to be with them, to look, say, oh, well, I think this person's great, I want to be with them, all to just force yourself to be someone you're not. And now what do you do then? Do you then say, hey, this is how I really am? Or maybe I have to continue with this whole facade. So the reason why I'm saying that is, if you stop giving a fuck and you can be true to who you are, you no longer have to pretend to be someone else, and the right person is going to want to be with you. But ultimately, if you can just focus on yourself, like you're saying, because you're probably thinking, oh, well, I'm only 5 feet tall, or I'm only, I have a receding hairline, or I don't know, one arm is 2 inches shorter than the other one. And dude, at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? Because what you think your insecurities are, whatever it may be, everyone has them. Yeah. You probably have them. I have my own insecurities. Sure. You think I have time to worry about what your insecurities are? I'm too focused on mine. Yeah. So just like you have yours, don't think that whoever you date is going to now be looking at your insecurities. Bro, own your shit. Because they probably have their own things that they're worrying about. And you're here thinking, oh, what are they going to say about this? Fuck that, dude. The way to build self-confidence is to just not care.
And I think the right person will like appreciate you for those flaws that you might have, or those insecurities, or whatever you're thinking. And you're too deep. You're thinking at it as, I gotta be this person that maybe I'm really not, you know. And so again, like you were saying, don't care about it. Focus on yourself, and the right person will be able to feel that energy and kind of add on to that and be like, man, this person is really, really cool. And that's really what if you want to simplify everything. Well, we're going through life. Everybody's figuring things out. Everybody's going through their own things. If you meet somebody who makes you happy and they reciprocate that, and you can make them happy, bro. If in the simplest form, that's what life is all about. How do you make somebody feel? How do they make you feel?
Yeah, bro. And at the end of the day, life is very short. Like we're all gonna die. And like, do you want to spend a year, 10 years of your life worrying about dating? Like, dude, you know what your strengths are. You should know what your weaknesses are. And if not, start identifying what those weaknesses are. You know, and figure out, hey, if this is who I am, I need to embrace who I am. Be proud of those weaknesses. Maybe I need to fix them, or maybe I need to find someone who can tolerate whatever those weaknesses are. Yeah. Should I work on them? Whatever, however it is. Identify whatever those weaknesses are, and yeah, just don't care. Stop caring. Only care about what you think, what it is that you like, and eventually you'll find someone, or you'll align yourself with the people who may have the same ideologies as you, the same lifestyle as you, the same goals as you, but that's because you're following your path of what you believe in. So as long as you stay true to that, don't even worry about what anyone else is saying, what anyone else thinks. Be true to yourself, and the right person is going to read that, and bro, everything will fall into place.
Love that.
My turn.
What was that? Is it your turn or is it my turn?
You got to ask me. Yeah.
Thoughts on giving a partner your social media password?
All right. What's your take on that? So I don't think that there's a problem with giving your partner your password.
I said the same thing.
Good. What needs to be identified is why you're asking the question. Yeah. So what is lacking in the relationship that you feel like you need the password? So if there was if there was previous infidelity, cheated, but you took them back. So if we're going to take them back, are we taking them back under the premise that they're going to continue cheating? Or are we now accepting that, hey, we're going to move forward together, clean slate, let's do this together the right way? But if you're going to keep on holding to the past, or going to be forgiving them every time they're cheating, then I can understand why you're asking for it. But now that goes beyond just the password on the phone. There's no trust altogether. Yeah. It has nothing to do with the phone. It has nothing to do with password. It's trust. There's nothing wrong with getting it, but if you need the password, I think you should identify how we can rebuild the trust first, rather than just getting the password and constantly looking for
driving yourself crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, there's one thing, the password to like change the song on Spotify or iTunes if you're playing something, or change to the new Coffee Breakup podcast.
Yes,
on iTunes and Spotify,
and subscribe.
Yeah, link in bio. But ultimately, yeah, if you're gonna be doing it to snoop, I think that we should kind of dig a little bit deeper in the relationship to figure out, hey, let's solve the trust issues.
What is going on? Yeah, 100%. When I first started, I was like, okay, having access to your partner's social media, in essence, there's nothing wrong with it. Same way you're saying. But like, what's going on here? And I said the same thing.
What's the reason for?
What is the purpose, right? What is the key issue?
I want to see if they're cheating on me.
Yeah. Well, why are you thinking that? Why would you even think that they're cheating?
And if you do have... Is the password, the password just going to confirm it? It's going to hurt your, Like, you're already in pain. Like,
Yeah.
something's already bothering you. You just want it to be true now.
And then maybe this person will say, well, they're always on their phone or this and this. Well, then maybe have that communication. Hey, what's going on? Or maybe have them understand, hey, listen, I'm feeling a little bit insecure. I see you on your phone a lot. Is there something you maybe want to tell me? Or then maybe either they reassure you or you find an underlying issue. What is going on? Have that dialogue. But in essence, you shouldn't even have to ask for the password of your social media.
Yeah. So ultimately, it's not your property. It's like, let's say if I get your phone, that's yours. And if you don't want to show me what's on your phone, you're entitled to your own privacy.
Yeah.
For all you people saying that, when you get into a relationship, there is no privacy. Or if you have kids, the kids don't have privacy. Ultimately, yes, they do. So stop being an asshole, because everyone is entitled to their own privacy. If I don't want to share something with you, I don't have to, right?
Yeah.
And that should be fair. So especially when it comes to relationships, well, if I want to use it, we're together, I should be able to. You should be able to. You should have access if you want, but you also can't be upset if they don't, because it's not your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because I read the question and I actually asked Claudia. I was like, hey, can I have access to your social media? She's like, yeah, here. Like, no hesitation. And even though I would never ask her that, like, I would never. But ultimately, you shouldn't have to if you trust this person. So if you do feel like you need to ask them, okay, address the key issue here. If it's insecurity or if it's jealousy, obviously there's something going on.
Yeah, and respect the privacy. But if we do have, ongoing patterns where we probably think that something is going on, then again, that goes into addressing that. Of getting someone's password is, there's deeper things to worry about than the password. Yeah. Maybe it'll just confirm your suspicions, but
or they delete the stuff, or they'll get sneakier. So really, it's not the place that you want your relationship to head into. That direction.
It's only gonna drive you crazier. Right. And then last but not least for this episode,
I'm asking you.
Yeah, I just asked you. Oh, sure. Did I?
No, I ask you.
Or I ask you. You ask me.
Yeah,
I ask you.
I ask you. Oh, you asked me this.
I do ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. As a guy, what is one way you'd like to be approached, if any, or is it a turnoff if girls make first move?
First move. I appreciate a woman taking the initiative, taking the courage to approach me, whether that is social media, whether that is in person, which I don't think has ever happened in person. But I think it'll be nice. I think it's different. I think it's out of their character, right? Because traditionally speaking, the man approaches the woman, or should. So for me, I'm flattered if a woman approaches me, right? So in any way, shape, or form, if person or whatever online, the way to do so, I think it's something subtle. If it's in person, it could be how you dress. I care how I look. So if this person, or even what I'm wearing, like the cologne or something like that, that is something that I would like to, that I would appreciate. Or even if it's like, I really like your haircut or whatever, your beard, whatever, like something subtle. And then that from there, you can open up a conversation, right? So that would be a way how I would like to be approached. If it's on social media, it could be anything. Like, what if I post something? It could be just like a subtle thing that you notice. If I'm at the gym, I love your tattoos. Easy. Oh, you got tattoos?
Is that what works?
It does work.
Is that what you would, whenever you did pedicures, is that why you posted the video?
Just this one.
I know that.
That one.
Was that on purpose?
Yes, but when I'm gonna get this tatted and then I'll switch it up.
Just do both, like Indian style, petty day.
I'll send it to you first.
No.
But yeah, bro. It's the subtle things. But I do think it's okay for a woman to take the first move. It's 2022 about to be.
Yeah,
woman can do the first move.
I concur. I think it's actually more of a turn on.
Yeah.
More than a turn off, because now men, and this is what I said in the clip, men would appreciate it. Because a man wants to be with a woman who's secure, a woman who's not afraid to take chances, a woman who knows herself, a woman who's not afraid to talk to people, to communicate, to take risks, because it is a risk. If traditionally speaking, the men's the ones who are supposed to do it, we're the ones facing the risk of rejection all the time.
Yeah,
and that shouldn't slow us down. In fact, it just kind of makes us stronger and kind of toughens us up in order for us to accept more rejection for whatever it may be in life, even your job, whatever it may be.
Right.
I don't know if I can say the same for women. I'm not a woman, but obviously. But if you were to approach a guy, I think it should fall under the same parameters as a guy, Yeah. And I think it's also easier for women. You know, women, they do say,
easy, yeah.
you know, it's 9 out of 10 times if a woman approaches a guy, they have a better chance. And you can literally say anything. Give us one compliment, we'll remember that for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
But I think being clever and being kind of smart, you know, with whatever.
Like witty.
Yeah, like let's say you're at the bar and maybe I'm there waiting, you know, waiting for someone. And then maybe the girl can be next to me and I could be like, you know, it would probably help if you were a girl because I'm probably going to get a drink before you.
Oh, nice.
Bro, you know, things like that. It's fun. It's clever. Right off the bat, you're now creating a conversation rather than, hey, yeah, imagine you're there at the bar waiting for a drink and someone comes, hey, nice shirt. Thanks.
Yeah.
Nice. I like yours too. You see what I mean? It still works.
Sure.
And for a guy, I think, because we're going to be like, oh, thank you. Whatever. Compliment. Come here. But I think that if you can play that with that wittiness, I think it's going to help. Now,
sure.
If you don't want to approach, which it is encouraged to do so, just like us. But if you don't want to, you want the guy to approach you, which is okay. Make it 100% bulletproof, easy for him. Lay out the red carpet for him. So how do you do this? Matthew Hussey said this once in a podcast. Close the proximity between you and that person. So let's say I'm the woman and I see you and I'm like, damn, Marvin, the guy with the curly hair, probably Dominican. I'm into Dominicans. I'm going to go up to him. I'm going to talk to Marvin. I think he's really good looking, right? But, you know, he's over there. Maybe, what do I do then? Let me try to get in a position where he's going to be able to see me in the line of sight.
Sure.
So now I'm going to make eye contact with you. Aggressively. Even if it makes me look like a creep. Because I need to communicate to you that if you come up to me, you have a good shot of talking to me.
Right.
But I need to make sure that you get that message. Even if I need to be staring at you. So some women think, oh, that's a little weird, all this stuff. Trust me, we have to deal with this BS all the time, making eye contact, and we look like creeps. But if you really want the guy to go up to you, he has to be sure so that he's not going to get rejected, or at least has the best chance of not getting rejected. So if you're in the line of sight, closing proximity, it makes it easier for him to get up to you. It makes it easier for him to turn around and be like, hey, whatever. But yeah, those are the two key things if you want them to go up to you. A lot of eye contact and close the proximity.
Yeah,
look at them, smile. Yeah, be very welcoming.
Be opening.
Guarantee that if he goes up to you, at least you'll talk to him, especially if you are interested in him. Those are the takeaway.
I like it. But ultimately, yeah, of course, it's okay for a woman to make the first move. I've never met a guy who'd be like, oh, that's a turnoff. Like, no, I think most guys would welcome that. It's out of the norm. And I think it's very well, it'll be reciprocated. In
today's day. However, there still are more of the machismo guys that are going to say, no, I want to be the one to go after a woman, because if a woman comes up to me, now I am, demasculated or emasculated. If a woman comes up to me, right? Emasculated, demasculated, emasculated. Yeah. I'm sorry, SAT word. But yeah, so I probably would want to be the one, or maybe the guy to go and pick up the woman. No, I don't want the girl to pick me up. I want to be the one to do it because I'm the man.
Right.
I want to pay for dinner because I'm the man. You'll find these people. Maybe they don't want you to. In that case, use the latter. Flirt, make it obvious. And for guys like that, you may not even have to make it obvious. You may not even have to look at them, and they're probably just going to go up to you and grab your ass, and then you're going to be like, what the fuck? But at the end of the day, you kind of have to see your market. But if you're not going to go up to the guy, make it easier for him to actually want to go up to you.
Love that.
Are that all the questions?
I think that was it. 7 questions, I think. 3. Yep. All right, guys. Well, this was our first Q&A. I think it was pretty cool.
This was a full Q&A, so we will be posting more questions or whatever opportunities for you to submit these questions, where we're going to come together, go over, pretty much answer everything. So if you guys have any questions, also, if you've made it this far, comment down below any questions that you have, and we'll also pull the questions from our YouTube and do another Q&A with the questions here.
We'll do another one. And just to be aware, we do have 2 Instagram pages, right? We have the Coffee Breakup Pod, which is the podcast where we have guests on and whatnot, but the Q&As, if you guys want to have a question, follow the Coffee Breakup on Instagram as well.
Yeah, so we'll go over, or probably throw all the handles up here. Alex, hook it up.
Yeah.
So we have the Coffee Breakup Pod that's going to be specifically for the podcast. We're going to have the Coffee Breakup, which we're still kind of working on, but that one's just pretty much going to be anything that comes with dating. You're going to have access to that. And we're going to have the Coffee Breakup coaching page. That one is going to be specifically for any questions that are submitted here. So if you guys have any questions when it comes to advice or anything like that, please shoot us a message over there, and stay tuned. Give us a follow, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Thank you so much, guys.
That being said, love y'all. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Later.
Ciao.